This UFL Picks Week 1 edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up at Underdog Fantasy, promo code SGPN to get up to $1,000 in bonus credits. We're also brought to you by Edge Boost. Get up to $750 in cashback rewards each month when you sign up at edgeboost.bet and use the promo code SGPN.
Hey, it's Scooby right here, aka Shark Dog, listening to SGP and let it ride.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer?
Dog. No, are we sure we're playing a league this year? Do we have 100% confidence?
No,
the league is happening.
No.
Why are we doing it?
This will be really funny if we put this podcast out and then 12 hours later they don't come to the agreement.
God bless J Mark. I see he's posting full depth charts.
Oh, well, the league's not going to. Again, joining us on the line from the UFL Gambling Podcast, UFL Insider, Colby Dant, aka Pick Dundee. What's happening, Colby?
We're live, right? This is live, right? I thought we could do it in the middle of the Houston game too. You know what I mean? Just to see how little people we could have watch the thing. How you doing, guys? Good to be back.
It does seem like our bit of like the UFL enjoyed us making fun of their schedule decisions so much. What is with these small leagues? Okay, let me guess. You can't afford a scheduling department. Okay, well, we can help you. Don't try to compete with large major sporting events. It's not hard.
Yeah.
Look at the calendar. Is there anything big that goes on in March?
Even if you just waited a week, at least there's less games. Like
no, they should have done Monday and Tuesday. I mean, tonight the whole nation was watching a CBI tournament. I feel like it's like
you're watching UC Irvine, UAB.
You have two games at the normal Sunday hours that we're all programmed to 10 a.m., 1 p.m. And then you have a Monday night doubleheader. I solved the fucking problem. Instead, they're like, nah, let's try Friday. Well, what's going on Friday? Sweet 16, really?
What do they get a discount on renting these stadiums for Fridays? Is what is going on behind the scenes?
Unreal.
Well, I appreciate the way they treated the veterans last year because they were so good treating the veterans. We sent our own Army veteran to a game.
Oh my god!
And he was denied. He was denied access with about 13 people in attendance. Even though that was their biggest sponsor, who later in the year sued the league for the Rock not promoting the veterans.
I don't think we ever did. We bring I don't think we ever really told that story on air. But I mean that unbelievable lack of awareness of how to engage modern media.
Yeah, so much to get to. So it's worth recapping our battle with the UFL last year. We reached out to the UFL, asked them if we could get press credential to cover their bullshit rinky dink league.
Which we probably have.
Covering it. We covered the XFL.
We're one of the few.
We covered the USFL. They merged.
And I think we had no problems getting XFL credentials. I think we've already had some
USFL and USFL. Yeah.
But the new merger, you got new people in place. And it was like very adamant, like, hey, we're trying to talk about the league, promote the league.
Basically, our guy reached out. They gave a stock response of no. Sean
I followed
got
up.
on
I'm
the
like,
phone.
hey, we have a bunch of exposure. Would love to figure this out. Like we were credentialed to work the Super Bowl media row. Like we're and he's just like, well, yeah, this isn't the Super Bowl. Yeah, no fucking shit. People watch the Super Bowl. I wish I could pull back. I'll try and find some of the text, but
Sounds like a good Patreon episode.
Yeah.
Forensic Files.
Oh, we should just do the whole, because we can totally do it, and I'll pull all the old texts.
Yeah.
The guy was just being a real piece of shit about everything, and like I started poking around. The guy obviously the guy, our reporter, worked for the Army, and I was like, we should run this up the flat. And
he was in the Army.
And then
their main sponsor was the fucking U.S. Army, by the way.
Which is like, and then he went to someone at the Army, and it was whatever. The guy working for us was like, hey, I have a day job with the Army. Dial it back. So I respectfully did. But because I didn't want him to get in trouble with the Army, because I'm a psycho and telling this guy to go fuck himself. Which I did a bunch. He also, the UFL VP of communications. Also, we found he was weirdly anti-podcast. Like that was his big thing, was only reporters on deadlines, not podcasts. I'm like, what do you mean?
Unless it's a 90s music podcast.
Yeah,
that's the only thing I know.
Found out. Shout out to the chat. The D-Gens tracked him down. Found out this turd Jeff hosted a 90s music podcast. So his him breaking down Toad the Wet Sprocket got no views. So he was burned out on the idea of podcasting. And like they kept giving me these weird ass answers, and then the real shithead move was he then went and pitched to the Army, hey, let's bring in your guy, and had him write an article for the UFL.com and made it so big, and like not to use on our website. That was the real fuck you. And I sent him some shitty texts. I continue to, but I
continue to.
July 16th, I had my revenge. July 16th, 2024, UFL VP of Communications, Jeffrey. You can Google his last name. I can't even pronounce it. Mutually part ways.
Really? Mutually.
A change has been made to UFL leadership as the vice president of comms. Jeff in the league have mutually parted ways. How do you mutually part ways?
You know how many people have mutually parted ways in the history of the world?
Zero.
Now
I think it's probably related to this thing. Army, UFL say $11 million marketing saga with the Rock is resolved. So apparently there was the U.S. Army was like their big main sponsor, keeping the league alive, giving them $11 million in July. Military.com reported on internal military documents that showed the Army wanted $6 million back from the $11 million failed marketing deal with the UFL and its co-owner Johnson. According to the documents, Johnson published only 2 of the 5 social media posts agreed upon. Even The Rock was ashamed to be associated with this fucking rinky-dink league. And
it's wild. Yeah, I mean, honestly, now that I'm thinking about it more, are we worried at all about the league getting canceled by Doge? Is it possible that the UFL will be one of the weird payments that they find? So the Department of Defense is spending $20 million on what?
Yeah, this is great. I mean, Elon, I want to send this over to Elon.
Tag Doge.
We really should, because fuck them. Military.com had reported an internal review of the marketing deal showed the Army projected a loss of 38 enlistments. So they spent $11 million.
Oh, shit, they're with the UFL. I'm out.
Hold on, you gotta tag Doge in that. Tag Elon and tag that. How do you lose 38 recruits? How do you spend $11 million and lose?
You know what? Because you signed up, and they before you get deployed or enrolled, they send you to Ford Field and they go, man, there's like 6 people here. What the fuck am I doing?
I saw the Brahmas roster. I had to change my mind. Maybe I'm more of a Navy guy.
But also, how do you capture the number 38?
Yeah, I don't know. Like on the exit survey when you're leaving the Army, like check one of the above: food, poor benefits, risking your life for on the front lines. The UFL, 38 people checked it. How do you lose 38 people? You dumb motherfucker.
That means they spent to get each one of these people away from the Army, they spent $289,473 per person.
This is just so great.
The worst part about it is I love spring football. I've loved it my whole life. I grew up watching the old USFL and World Leagues and NFL Europe, and then everything else that followed. And this is the worst one of them all. This is the worst one of them all. Like, I would take any other version of spring football over this pile of shit that we've had here.
The USFL was fine if only they had won the merger.
Yeah. No, and so I guess the Army valued his Instagram post at $1 million a post, and he only did 2 of the 5 posts. That was
someone's got to tell the Army that's not. There's 0% chance a rock post is worth $1 million.
Oh man, it was
the Army's getting grifted. Wait, the Rock is grifting the Army.
The Army,
Sean, what is happening here?
Yeah, what is going
the
on?
Rock is supposed to be a hero.
He
is back to being a heel.
I'm pro Rock. I assume I'm blaming the UFL.
I'm pro America, not Rock. I'm pro US.
I'm on side America here. All right, let's go.
Sean
Justin in the chat saying, "Good Lord, I'm about to bet on this. I bet on worse. Let's go." Alex in the chat as well saying, "I remember this dude. Bro had the banger podcast." Yeah,
who are we talking Jeff? That was pretty funny to find out that Jeff himself was a failed podcaster.
Oh, come on.
It's like a movie. This is like the most basic movie script.
It was so
ever.
obvious, like this weird hatred of podcasting.
Like, sorry your dad touched you, bro.
Yeah, it's like clearly it's not about the podcasting. And then
only people on a deadline.
What? Yeah, what?
Deadlines
I just imagine some newsroom, like some old timey newsroom. Give me that UFL recap. Come on. Stop the presses. Arlington had a late score. Are we going to make deadline? What the fuck are you talking about, deadline?
Also, I mean, how bold to think people are going to have deadlines about your sport.
Yeah, the only thing that's dead is your career, Jeff. Like, what are you talking about?
By the way, Colby, I meant to show you up at the top of the show. Look what Sean and CJ got me. Got a pizza peel in the office now.
Fire.
Pulls out some hot winners, gets some nice and baked. Oh, the other thing was great was he goes to me, he's like, about getting credentialed. He's like, you better be careful.
Oh yeah. All right. You know what? Next Patreon episode, we're doing a Forensic Files UFL, the UFL Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like we may uncover something.
Oh yeah. No, and he was like implying like, oh man, it's a small circle of people that do the credentialing business, and you got to be careful. First off, we don't need to be credentialed. I don't really give a fuck.
Yeah. We could also pay the $4 for your fucking season ticket package. You fucking idiot. God damn it. Yeah.
It's like, what are you talking about? I could walk in the stadium and get front row seats. Access is really not a problem here, Jeff. It's just like you pissed me off not trying to work with us. So fuck that guy.
Well, I mean, and it got even worse to me, like all off season. I mean, I'm going to just key in on what we've had going, and I got slides.
I'm pulling up his, I'm pulling up his, LinkedIn, and I just remember he went to Arizona State, and we shit on Arizona State for a long time.
And then we were guests at the university.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think Arizona State people will be offended if we say their school isn't an Ivy League school.
No.
That actually, they probably would be. Yeah, you're right. That's totally not us. All right, Colby, you were saying slides.
No, I sent you some slides, but in the offseason, I mean, to me, like the league's just been all over the place. And one of the things obviously that I hate is they're changing the kickoff rule. The one thing I liked about this league, they're going to the bullshit XFL NFL kickoff rule, which to me has me just like fuck this league even more. But so I mean, why even do that when you're getting people to try to learn about your product, and they make the transition to that, which once again is another reason probably not to watch the league. But then they have this. We're getting excited. I made the slides for the coaches. You'll see it. And as I make the slides a couple days ahead of time, because it's 5 days away, I then realized that I have to remove one of the guys because he took the job at Tennessee State. The DC or the head coach of the DC Defenders took the job at Tennessee State, but then they listed his backup or his OC as the new head coach, right? Well, as we were doing the UFL podcast, I realized that I checked, I didn't know who he was. So I checked his LinkedIn and he was the current OC of Tennessee State, which as well as the O-line coach, the tight end coach, and Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator, which made it kind of tricky because I was like, wait a second, they have a spring game on April 9th or something. One of the April's and I'm like, wait, so the whole staff of the DC Defenders, majority of the staff is at Tennessee State right now following Reggie Barlow. And then even funnier as I adjust all this, then Ken Wisenhunt, did he leave for a college job? The Memphis Showboats head coach, he just resigned 72 hours before the first game, just resigns. And they're handing it.
He's not taking another job.
Not taking another job. And my favorite thing, let me see if I can find this tweet. My favorite thing is the guy they brought in, which if you show the slide there, because I'm drawing a blank on the guy's name because I'd never heard of him either.
Jim Turner, the coach for the Showboats.
Jim Turner had talked to the press saying that, I don't know we're going to keep the plays really simple because I don't know the extensive amount of plays that they were running prior. So, I mean, we're off to a great start. We're off to a great start here in this league.
Are we sure he quit? I'm seeing it being called being called a leave of absence, and that now this is as of the 24th. And when Mr. Wisenhunt is ready to return to the UFL family, we will welcome him with open arms.
Really?
That was from the UFL president and CEO Russ Brandon.
Maybe you're trying to make it sound a little bit. You're trying to dress it up. Well,
hold on. We take pride in the UFL being a family-first league, and we respect Ken's decision to take a leave of absence for personal reasons at this time. Maybe something happened. Something must have happened.
Maybe he realized they were duping over the U.S. Army, and he goes, "I'm out on this fucking shit."
Personal problem is them disrespecting the Stars and Stripes.
Well, I mean, you're on Team Rock.
I'm with Christopher in the chat. Money laundering, most definitely. Yeah, whatever. I mean, especially when you get these hedge funds involved, it can't just be they're trying to make money off a spring football league. That seems like the least likely. Yes. So we got a lot. We'll pick the games. And Ryan, there's a lot to get to with these games. Of course, shout out to DraftKings. DraftKings will have some UFL lines, sides, and totals, maybe even more. Of course, also a great place for March Mania, live betting, exclusive content, promos, and parlays. DraftKings is the ultimate college basketball destination for March and spring football destination. First time, here's something special for you. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Ryan, does DraftKings have any futures for the UFL market?
Yes.
What's the longest long shot for the UFL? Don't we? If I had some bonus bets, don't we just put it on one of those or no?
No. I mean, we can have that conversation, but typically you just put it all in Birmingham.
Yeah. They have Birmingham.
They've won 3 straight championships.
Now this opened Birmingham plus 250.
Okay, so sharp money already pouring in on Birmingham. If you have a bonus bet, maybe toss a couple bucks there on the Birmingham Stallions. Of course, lines and odds subject to change. Bet the unexpected with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code SGP. That's code SGP for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY. Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort. 21 plus, age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. And of course, shout out to Rhythm. We had an awesome time hanging out at the Rhythm party. If you didn't see it, and maybe Kramer can pull it up, I think I tweeted it out. Colby randomly showed up in all black at the Rhythm party. I don't know if it was a choice, but he dressed in all black, kind of looked like a stagehand. So he had a lot of fun of Colby hanging out by the curtains, pretending he was a stagehand.
Well, when I go to a pool party, I try to wear long sleeves and
long sleeves, black jeans. It's like a country singer. It was a great time, great party, great company. Rhythm. If you haven't signed up with Rhythm, what are you waiting for? Love me using the Rhythm models. They had an awesome March Madness so far. They've done a very good
Johnny Cash. Look at me. That's fucking Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash DJ.
Jerry Glanville. Yeah, let's go.
You need your black leather boots. We of course built our own model and named it Po Boy King. It's been on a nice little run here. I'll tell you one play Po Boy King likes, our model, under 154.5 of the Arizona Duke game. Of course, very easy to build your own model with Rhythm. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Get started there. Get your 7-day free trial. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
All right, I had AI do a deep search on the Ken Wisenhunt situation.
Okay.
It does not seem like there is any public information other than the main info came from the statement from the CEO and president of the UFL. So it does seem like maybe he didn't quit.
Okay.
And maybe he'll be back at some point.
Who knows? If he really did have a serious family situation, God bless him, and hopefully he's all right.
They called it a family first league multiple times, which
well, it's unlike when the Browns, the Bears head coach mysteriously retired.
That was way different.
They had no statement.
Well, like, that was not coming back.
And he said he's like, "Hey, I'm going to go. I'm retiring to hang out with my family more." And the Bears are just like, "Yeah." He's not with us anymore. So that is a red flag. If they're stepping in and saying, "Hey, we support him," maybe there is something going on. Obviously, we don't know.
Well, 2 days ago it was reported that by United Football Media there that the UFL players have not ruled out a strike as they approach the start of their season with the labor contract.
Kramer alluded to that up at the top of the show, that they don't have a collective bargaining agreement. If you don't know, the UFL, all the players get paid the same. They were trying to unionize. Then there were rumors that, teams and the organization were like fighting back on the unionization efforts. Again, all just, we don't know.
The players have to realize you have no fucking power. All right. Like you're going to be working at the grocery store. If you're not, if you don't play football here, you're trying to get to the next level. That's what makes any spring league appealing, in my opinion, would be that you have this side. You see so often players that are they don't get selected in the NFL draft that end up being some of the greatest players that ever played the game. So you have this avenue where you could do this. And
you'll find a couple diamonds in the rough. Kevontae Turpin for the Cowboys, notable spring guy. PJ Walker bounced around in the league.
Jake Bates last year.
Yeah, Jake Bates, kicker for the
I was
Lions.
Gonna say Turpin kind of stands out as a guy who clearly the NFL missed on. Like he's in the NFL and does stuff in the NFL.
No, I mean, and
you don't often see that.
Yeah, it's few and far between, but it's
all
cool
of these leagues have a shot.
Though.
I mean, Brad Johnson was in a spring league. He ends up, he was a backup at Florida State, so he never started in college football, and he went to the spring league and ends up. I'm not talking the USFL ones where they actually offered more money than the NFL. I'm talking about the developmental leagues. There was a bunch. Jake Delhomme was another one that ended up starting in a Super Bowl. So I mean, it happens all the time. It's just but you got to realize you have no fucking power right now. I mean, you got to just I laugh at the thought of this. It's like, oh yeah, we're not getting paid enough. It's like, you seen your stands?
What? Yeah, it's who are, I mean, like what leverage do they think they have in this situation?
Yeah, it's quite hilarious in my opinion. So
and
unfortunately I'm on the side of UFL Jeff on this one.
I'm looking at I pulled up our sheet from last year. I don't think it included the final Freedom Cup, which we named. But I mean, we went on an incredible run. Kramer 78% on his dogs. I was 70%. Sorry, 78% on your locks. I was 70%. Colby 67%. I was 56% overall. Kramer 60%. Colby 60% overall. We were 63% in our consensus plays. We really just destroyed this league.
Yeah, I mean, because we watched.
We had futures on the Stallions.
Oh,
I mean,
yes, also that.
Yeah. Every year, all 3 years. Yeah.
I'm looking at last year, week 1, and yeah, we all had Birmingham Stallions at 3-1. Yeah, which is before they again realized. Kramer and I swept the board, going 8-0 because
we played the unders, right?
We had all unders. Colby got cute and took 2 overs. But do we run it back?
Yeah.
Do we run back the all unders for week 1?
They're striking, maybe. Of course we do.
Well,
what are you talking
you
about?
have coaches bailing.
Yeah.
I mean, he even said, "Hey, we're going to keep the plan super simple."
Ken Wisenhunt was going to call the plays. I was able to determine that.
Yeah. So how is that the off? It's the classic, like why we like the unders in week 1 of NFL, because the offense. If you don't know the plays, the offense has the defense has a huge advantage. Hey, whatever they're trying to do, just tackle the motherfucker.
Well, yeah.
And they're out of sync. They don't have any rhythm. They don't have any flow. And these totals are slightly lower than last year, but not a ton.
Oh, really, my eyes would have told me that the totals were a little high this year.
Really?
Am I wrong? So that. You're looking at week 1 last year. What were the numbers?
Yeah, hold on. Let me pull that back up.
Well, while you're doing that, 5 p.m. on the West Coast on Friday, which
so here's the difference. The 4 combined totals this year 153.5, last year 169. So
interesting.
But they missed it by a wide margin.
I'm still good with going under here.
41 points was the highest score last year.
It was the highest total this year.
41, 34, 39, 30. So all these totals would have went under.
All right, feel fine. Let's head down to Houston, Texas, where, as Colby's pointed out, not only are they competing with the Sweet 16 in Houston, they're competing with a team from Houston playing the Houston Cougars,
the one seed.
By the way, the game's being played at their football team stadium. So I can't imagine there's gonna be too many people wandering around campus like, hey, maybe I'll go to a football game. The Houston Roughnecks catching 6 points at home against the St. Louis Battlehawks. We'll have to get an update on the coaching staff for the battle. Is it still Mr. Meatball himself?
Yeah, I mean, I gave you the slides with all the coaches. By the way, if you want to play your futures right now, we should play our futures before this game.
Do futures first?
Yeah.
All right. Let's call. Colby's getting. You know what the slide master's a little bit of a diva.
Slide master.
He's a little bit of a diva. He wants his slides up. Let's get the man his slides up. All right, here we go. Oh, I gotta take Colby back off the board. Oh, what? Look at these beautiful.
Oh, great
slides.
Great.
Oh, so you put the divisions. So we got
no odds on. Whoa.
Oh, these are.
Wait, these are the coaches. The next one's the odds. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So if you're not familiar with the league, quick rundown. We know Skip Holt's still with the Stallions. That's why they're the clear favorites. Battlehawks, who probably the second best roster, but the coach has left some meat on the bone. No pun intended. Anthony Beck, aka Tony Meatball. Wade Phillips, great players coach. He's coaching the Brahmas. Shannon Harris, he's the new coach of the Defenders, as Colby
currently
highlighted.
The offensive coordinator for Tennessee State.
He's got a couple things going on. Everyone's been between jobs. Yeah, Mike Nolan, who is he still wearing the suit with the Michigan Panthers?
No, unfortunately.
Bob Stoops with the Renegades. Jim Turner, again, late swap in there, offensive line coach for the Showboats, and Curtis Johnson, who I believe we've called repeatedly on this show the worst coach in the history of coaching.
Here's what you love about the UFL: you can't get fired as a head coach.
So I will say this though, all in all, this is still a more impressive head coaching roster than it is league. Like they have some
there's some
stars at the coach position.
Decent coaching minds. Curtis Johnson, of course, I learned this courtesy of the UFL Gambling Podcast. So make sure you subscribe.
Oh, look at you.
They were pointing out that the UFL has the Super Challenge where you can challenge and you get one super challenge. You can challenge anything that happened on the play. Doesn't matter. So like, hey, it's 4th and 10. Key. You're driving for a touchdown. You don't get it. Use the super challenge because maybe they'll find a illegal contact or something. Curtis Johnson goes, I don't care when it happens in the game. I just want to be right. So I'm going to use it whenever I think I'm definitely going to be right, which is horrible strategy. What are you doing?
I totally miss Colby's. Look at it. He's just adding in propaganda onto the slides. XFL kickoff sucks.
Oh yes.
That's not football. That's some European shit, guys. And you guys are on board with it. It's all disgusting.
Colby, are they called the okay, yeah, I thought they changed the name of Roughnecks, but no, it is still the Roughnecks.
No, yeah. It's the Gamblers we lost.
Yes.
plus 190 for the Stallions. Hard to look anywhere else. Battlehawks plus 320, 6-1 for the Brahmas. Defenders plus 650, 650 for the Panthers as well. 11-1 for the Renegades, 20-1 for the Showboats, 22-1 for the Roughnecks. How we have this conversation every year, and I'm going to put the Roughnecks to the side because we know they don't have a chance. But how can anyone be 20-1 in a league with 8 teams?
Well, Curtis Johnson is a horrible coach.
7 teams, you could basically say. And then when you add that Memphis and DC have no coaches, I'd say you're down to 5.
I mean,
Bob Stoops.
Arlington at 11-1. They do have Luis Perez, who is a spring football guru. They at least have some consistency. I would say Birmingham because they'll cover you for a long shot, and then Arlington, right?
100%. And I think if you want a third one, it'd be Michigan with their defense. But Arlington had the top.
There are only 8
here's what was great about last year. If you were a good offensive and defensive team, your record was horrible because this league is full of gimmicks where you can go for these crazy fucking onside kicks and 3-point conversions and bullshit like that. Your onside kick is not an onside kick. It's just like a 4th
15, right?
Yeah. Or I think it's 4th and 12, right? And it basically dilutes the stats. I felt like 70% of the games, the better team lost, which is fucking hilarious. And if you look up the yards, like if you do this with NFL or college football, you traditionally see the top teams the teams that win the Super Bowl that are in the playoffs are your better teams in the top 10, like not in this league. In this league, your top offensive teams. No. Arlington's offense was awesome, and they were dead last. What was second to last in wins, right? So buckle up. But I think Arlington, there's value on that because we do know their offense is that good. I know we're using logical sense in a league that's not logical, but this I think is a decent play because I think Bob Stoops can fix the defense if he's paying attention to it. I know he's selling his tequila company, but yeah, I like Arlington plus 1100.
I love how this is a side hustle for all these guys.
It really is.
Craig,
can we get a?
So Colby, what do you officially for the sheet? What do you officially on?
How many are we doing? I like 3. I like Birmingham, Michigan, and Arlington.
All right, so Birmingham plus 190, Michigan plus 650.
Can I just throw something out there? Is
Arlington?
Is Bryce Perkins going to play? Going to start?
Yes.
Who started?
Yes.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
You got to take Michigan. Puka Nakua's brothers on that team too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just taking Arlington and Birmingham. They'll be one of these teams will be bad. That'll be like 30-1. That will still have a decent chance to get in the playoffs.
Colby, remind
later
me,
on in the season.
There are divisions, right?
There are divisions. It's I love this is even more confusing. The USFL division, which has an XFL team in it, the Houston Roughnecks.
Oh no! I'm sorry, I asked.
The Birmingham Stallions, the Memphis Showboats, the Michigan Panthers, and the Houston Roughnecks are one division. The other division is St. Louis, which, by the way, there's AJ McCarron retired or got kicked or quit or got a job at Circuit City.
Hanging out with his kids now, I think.
Yeah, he was. They offered him a promotion at Best Buy, and he said, "You know what?
They gave him a good shift behind the bar, and he was like, I can't turn down Friday nights. The money's too good."
It's like that scene in Major League where they call up the manager at the very beginning. He's like, "Hey Lou, how would you like to manage the Cleveland Indians?" He's like, "I don't know. I'm putting up some drywall."
Now that I'm looking at the divisions, I think it's important that I take Arlington as well.
Yeah. So Kramer, what are you doing?
I'm doing the Colby three team shuffle. Full unit on Birmingham.
Okay.
And then I'm going to chop a second unit up on Michigan and Arlington.
Yeah, I think the Panthers could be, but I'll hold off for now. And and as we've seen from the futures market, you can hop in. Like I feel like there's been a bunch of times where a team will be like 25-1, but there's a 4-team playoff. So if you just get into the 4-team playoff, anything can happen.
Also, one division,
Birmingham will probably just win again.
Well, yeah, probably. One division tends to be shittier than the other too. So there's sometimes
that's the other thing.
Weird line.
Or like they'll make them crazy long odds, but they actually have a decent chance to get in the playoffs.
But remember, the XFL/UFL, they own all teams. So remember 2 years ago, their final year is the XFL.
Oh no, don't bring this up.
They traded the starting quarterback of Vegas, Luis Perez, who was one of the better players in the league, to Arlington for a guy with 3 tackles on the season. Straight up,
did they get any draft
no
picks?
Incentives, no draft picks, nothing. Straight up, right before the playoffs, and then Arlington happened to win the X Cup or whatever the fuck you want to call the XFL championship. So it's a little taboo over here.
That would have caused a mayhem in a fantasy football league. Reverse the trade. All right, let's talk about the first game again. Competing with literal Houston in the Sweet 16 on the campus of Houston in their football stadium. The Roughnecks catching 6 points.
I mean, literally any other time. Literally, you could do like 4 a.m. on a Tuesday. You get some cokeheads watching it. Like
I mean,
literally any other time.
There's no game Sunday morning. There's no game Sunday morning. There's no game Saturday morning. Just
maybe
anyway.
Willie Fritz will pull a Belichick and buy some fraternities pizza if they come out to the game.
It's
gonna be working for a pizza.
Battlehawks coming to town, laying 6.
It's part of the CBA. They get free pizza after the game.
Minus 278 in the money line.
Orange slices at halftime. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you're not sorry. 37.5 is the total. We're taking the under. We already agreed. And so Colby, do we know, is it going to be Duggan?
No, it's not. I actually
Manny
have
Wilkins.
I actually saw an injury report. Shout out to the one injury report the one projected starting lineup that I have. They announced it.
Is it J Marks?
Manny Wilkins will be the starting quarterback for the St. Louis Battlehawks, and for the Houston Roughnecks, it will be Anthony Brown, the former Boston College quarterback. Now they say Nolan Henderson will get some action, even though he looked horrible last year. I don't know how that happened, but they'll get some action there. I think they're going to run both. I'm not sure about St. Louis, even though they have Duggan. Maybe they run both. Maybe they don't. But
I feel like Duggan, you got to put in Duggan for some goal line stuff, right?
Can't read this.
Yeah, he's an athlete, right?
No, I mean he's tough to tackle. I think he would be
kind of surprising he's not able to win the job, right?
Yeah. Probably not a great sign, but again, I'm just fading the Roughnecks here. Curtis Johnson is not a good coach. They were 1-9, didn't look particularly good. What has changed, Colby? Don't we just hammer St. Louis here?
Yeah, no, and I think if you look at the offense, and there's just not a lot of talent to me. Like Anthony Brown's your starting quarterback. I'm looking at Kiki Chisholm, I guess, is probably their best wideout.
So real quick,
Kiki Chisholm.
I want to quick trivia. This is maybe for Sean.
Sure.
Manny Wilkins.
Yeah.
Last played college football in it was the year of the 2019 draft. So 2018, 2019.
Okay.
What team did he play for? Played quarterback. Played in a power conference league.
Okay.
You've been to the stadium.
Texas A&M.
Wow, you had a real close. I mean, you only had 3 places you could have guessed. 4 maybe. Arizona State.
That was close. Deserty.
Anyway, you were talking about Anthony Brown, who by the way,
UFL Jeff was his in.
Hey, I said Anthony Brown, who was not good at Boston College.
So I'm laying the 6 with the Battlehawks, just the fate of their coach. Kramer, what are you doing?
I think we learned this early in the league last year. No number is big enough if you expect one team to be organized and prepared and one team not to be.
Have their shit together.
The quarterback variance is obviously intriguing, but
the receivers too, like St. Louis. I know they lost their offensive coordinator Brad Grabkowski, but Jacob Sailors is a stud running back, and then the receivers with Hakeem Butler, Ja'Cour Pearson, who has been a stud in this league. And they got Denzel Mims, who the Jets I feel like drafted in the 2nd round, like just a couple of years ago. Great draft pick, Jets. But what year did he's got to be like what 2021 draft? You remember Denzel Mims? The Jets drafted him in the 2nd round, I think, like the high 2nd round.
He's still kicking around somewhere.
He's on the St. Louis Battlehawks. That's my point.
Also,
great.
If you're looking for good angles on the under, Houston went hit the over 3 times last season. So again, good reason to hammer the under here, especially with just the first game.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'll take I'll lay the 6 and take the under too. Houston's fucking horrible. No one's gonna be at this game.
I mean, again, the choice of timing, everything here stinks. And we're gonna have to be proven wrong on the Roughnecks.
This is what's fun about the league. People are asking, "Hey, when's the UFL show gonna come back?" It's great to just have a league that it's kind of like basically the U Up league, where it's like you're texting someone really late at night. Hey, you up? You're it's not someone you're taking around.
Hey, you up?
You're not meeting the parents. It's last call. If there was a league that was last call, it's the UFL.
Yeah, they're the strip club on a Monday morning. All right, now
the cocktail, kegs and legs.
I got like the bullet hole in a bullet wound in the stripper. But I mean, all their rules too are fucking cockanimi. Like they're third and like the fact you can get 3 points, the whole kickoff thing, and then the onside kick thing, I think is horrible. So I don't know, but you can make a lot of money. So subscribe.
All right. I agree with that. I do think there is not a ton of people paying it, although it does feel this year more than in the past. A lot of the sharper, the sharks are swimming closer to the UFL, unfortunately.
Get out of our area.
Saturday, 1 PM. This one at least does not. I don't think this collides with an Elite 8 game. The San Antonio Brahmas, they head down to Arlington to take on the Renegades. Renegades 3-point home dogs here. Plus 130 on the money line, minus 155 for the Brahmas. 37 is the total. You can mark me as an under there. I'm sure a lot of why the Brahmas are coming in with some respect has everything to do with their quarterback room, quote unquote NFL talent. But let's not forget what Mike Zimmer once said about Kellen Mond. He had seen enough. He had seen enough.
Yeah.
Who's the starter, Colby? Before I go on a
Kellen Mond is right. Colby?
Yeah, I don't. They didn't release anything yet, but I believe it's going to be. I think it's going to be Kellen Mond.
He. I mean, sometimes guys fail out of the league because they're just really bad mentally between the years, which is what struck me as Kellen Mond's problem. But I'm curious to know to see how Colby feels about this one, because kind of feels like, and by the way, I do have Choctaw Stadium is where this game's being played. Trivia question: who plays at Choctaw Stadium outside of the Dallas / Arlington Renegades?
The Texas Rangers.
Texas Rangers no longer play there. They did until 2019, from 1994 to 2019.
Oh, so then who else plays there?
MLS team?
Yeah.
There is actually an MLS Next Pro team. So minor league MLS plays in this stadium, 2020 to present. And that's it. The Dallas Jackals, who are a major league rugby team. They played until 2024. Hopefully it wasn't the league that went under. But yes, they're playing in a baseball stadium / multi-purpose stadium. So Colby should enjoy that.
Not really in this one.
No,
Colby, you couldn't play at a cool one. The point is to pay homage to the sport, not.
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, you got to play at Wrigley or something. Or
they do call it a multi-purpose stadium. My instincts say take the home dog here. I do like
all about it. I
Luis
mean,
Perez.
Yeah, I mean, look, like San Antonio had the greater run last year, but once again, Arlington was the best offensive team. You know, them and Birmingham. I mean, I guess Birmingham is the one outlier. The other teams all had losing records, but Arlington put up 312 yards a game. I mean, this offense, and I even think those numbers are a little bit jaded because I think Perez missed a game, so I think it's even higher when you add in every game he played in. So. You look at that and you think if Bob Stoops can just fix the defense a little bit, they were much better than their record a year ago. So I'll take Arlington at home to get some revenge on San Antonio.
Yeah, Arlington got to the final last year, didn't they? With once they got Luis Perez, or am I crazy?
That was 2 years ago.
Oh, 2 years ago.
Yeah, no, they won the championship 2 years ago in the XFL.
That's right.
Yeah. But
it's all the bleed together. But they got that sweet combo, the Luis Perez, the Sal Canella, everyone's favorite stomach disease / tight end.
But Colby, what weren't the Brahmas the team getting extremely lucky last year? Yeah.
Look, the Brahmas. So the Houston Roughnecks were the worst team with Curtis Johnson, 15.8 points per game. Obviously. Memphis was horrible. Their offensive line was terrible, 18.8 points per game. And San Antonio was at 19.2 points per game, but yet they still went to the went deep into the playoffs there. They're kind of a gimmick team. Like they don't. You look at the stats, you're like, how the hell did they win these games? It doesn't make any fucking sense, but they did somehow, some way. But I think it stops here. Arlington gets it done, and I actually think this is the one you do want to play the over.
No,
you're going over, Colby.
I'm not playing any over.
No, not week one. Colby's on the over. We're getting a replay from week one last year, Kramer. Colby, we have a system. Don't mess with the system. All right.
This might be an actual big bet now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah. Circa's holding the,
I think they'll let us parlay.
That's a good question.
I dare them. A
lot of the books won't let you mess with parlays on the spring leagues, on the joke leagues. Only serious leagues they allow parlays. But again, I mean, Kramer, we both went 8-0. That would have been a sick parlay.
I know. Well, we couldn't parlay them last.
It's another year. You should try it again. Shout out to Alex Reezy in the chat. What's the 6th stadium the Showboats are playing in? That is the Liberty Bowl.
We'll get to that in a second. We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a second. Who's this guy in the chat trying to change the flow of our show? Were you talking about Memphis yet, sir? We are not. You knew he was going to get Colby excited too.
Shout out to Underdog Fantasy. Use that promo code SGPN. Get up to $1,000 in credits, bonus credits, with a sweet deposit match when you sign up over at Underdog Fantasy and use the promo code SGPN. They did have some Underdog Fantasy pick'em last year. Hopefully they bring it back for this year. But I don't see lines are out yet. But I wouldn't be surprised. Probably Friday morning, probably late. They'll pop some stuff up.
I have it on good authority. There will be UFL 100%.
Okay, well then tune in and get down. I'm sure Colby Dant, aka Pick Dundee, will be tweeting out some pick'em, some higher lowers for the UFL. Kramer getting in.
J Mark's gonna. J Mark doesn't know this, but he's gonna cook me up a bag.
I like that.
Big game hunting.
UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Edge Boost. Head over to edgeboost.bet. Use the promo code SGPN. Do us a solid. Do yourself a solid. Sign up for their Visa debit card. One, it's free, no credit check. And you can start earning up to $750 cash back each month just for betting on sports, something you're already doing right now. And it's great. Every first of the month. My favorite part of the first of the month is I open up the Edge Boost account, see how many rewards I've earned. And of course I get that tier 2 credit, or the tier 2 status instantly because I used edgeboost.bet and use the promo code SGPN. Great for the long shot, DGen only bets, the Edge Boost Bucks. Edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN.
All right, let's pop over to. Once again, we are in the window where this should be the opening games of the season. Sunday morning.
Yeah.
People love football on Sunday. 9 a.m. We're heading to Memphis, Tennessee, where they are playing in that stadium. I mean, Colby was getting very excited about it, but it is the Liberty Bowl. I think Colby, this is one of Colby. Colby, is this the top 5 stadium for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the best to play a football game in the world, in my opinion.
In the world,
yes. Wow. Where are you at? I added a photo here. Can you find it?
What do you mean?
Add that photo I just uploaded.
Okay.
He's very bossy.
I mean, yeah, he's I got to do this.
Look at that.
Look at that beautiful stadium.
That's a fire stadium, and it's been a part of the football game for a long time. And that's
a video game picture, Colby.
What do you mean?
That's a picture from a video game.
Really?
You're showing us a fake picture.
All right.
That's not a real picture.
It still looks cool.
You're trying to make it look cooler than it is. Look at it.
All right. This was try this one.
Put this in your pipe and smoke it.
Is one of my favorite moments at the stadium was when Mike Leach was shaking hands with Mississippi State fans as his team fought another team. You remember that?
Great. Oh, that was an awesome
show that
video.
one, Kramer.
All right.
Yes, this is a fire.
Is this one real?
Stadium.
Can someone run through an AI checker, verify that this is real? It does look pretty cool, but you know what else is helping here? Is the fisheye effect. A fisheye effect from the top of a stadium always makes a stadium look cooler.
That stadium is fire.
So I actually checked the box that we have no altered content in this episode, and now we're lying.
Now we're
lying. We're showing altered content.
All around RU. If you think I'm the only one hating on this show, have you been listening to the other two guys?
All right. Yeah. Come on, dude. We all hate this fucking league equally. 9 a.m. on the West Coast. The Michigan Panthers, who produced a top level NFL player. He was a kicker, but Dan Campbell likes him, which means we all like him. Michigan laying 4.5 on the road. All 4 road teams favored, Sean. That's interesting. Maybe don't have your shitty teams open the season at home. Memphis, the Showboats playing in a beautiful stadium, as Colby lays out, plus 185 on the money line. Michigan minus 225. 38 is the total. We're going under. I think in my evaluation of the rosters, which it's an easy league to evaluate, the rosters aren't that deep. And if you know any sort of ball, you'll know, you'll know enough to know this Michigan roster I have as the second best roster in the league.
Well, here's the thing with Bryce Perkins, because here's the thing that's mind numbing is Mike Nolan's such a fucking idiot that if they don't play him, they're like, oh, we'll give him one possession. They'll switch out possessions with Etling, and Perkins shows like every game that he's way better than every quarterback on this roster. But then they're just hard headed. Like, well, we're going to give everyone an opportunity in the UFL where opportunities meets crossroads, all that bullshit. Right. And you're right though. They have the best defense, I think, in the whole league. And then you add in Bryce Perkins, who probably should be a 3rd string or 2nd string quarterback on an NFL roster. And you have this team. So
yeah, I mean, you guys are putting too much time at this. The coach quit, or Ken Winston, whatever happened there, like a few days ago. There's no way you can take Memphis. Yeah, I mean, that's all you need to know. And Panthers have a pretty good defense. If you're picking one under to take, it's if you're not going to take all 4, which I think you should, that's what I'm going to be doing. The 38.5, like Memphis Showboats, their offense, they have an interim coach.
Yeah, it's a lot. Even though they lost Bates, Bates was like an automatic field goal for them. But I'm with you. Lock up.
Panthers offense was just Bates.
Colby, remind the listener, what was the weak part of the Memphis team last year?
Their offensive line was the worst in
line.
The
what
league,
is
the whole
what
entire
is the
league.
What would you, can you argue that Michigan has the best defensive line in the league?
I think them and San Antonio had the best, or actually Birmingham you could throw in there too. But yeah, I mean they were elite defensively, even at the safeties and linebacker spots. Ginda, those guys are all beasts.
Yeah, so far, like to me, the fact that Michigan is only 1.5 point, these spreads are all fucked up.
Yeah.
I don't think they know what they're doing.
So we're all taking Michigan laying the 4.5.
I think the intern who set these numbers it's going to be like the guy Sup Boy put out of work with the kickoff props. All of a sudden they're just going to stop putting up numbers. Last one, noon on Sunday.
And all on the under, right, Colby? You're not taking a rogue
I'm
over
all
here?
over the under here. This is gonna be it's gonna be an ass whooping. All over the under.
All right, last one, and arguably easily the game of the weekend, although it is the biggest spread at the same time. I feel like from a brand recognition, these are the two biggest franchises in the league. Noon in the nation's capital. We got the Birmingham Stallions, who are by far the best roster in the league, taking on the DC Defenders, who they've shown up from time to time. Although, as Colby highlighted on the top of the show, their entire coaching staff is either no longer there or working two jobs.
Yeah, I mean that's the interesting thing, because if it wasn't for the coaching thing, the DC Defenders kind of would have been interesting as a 7-point.
Yeah, dog. the way they play. I mean, I don't know about that, but
they've been decent ATS last year. They got Jordan Tamu, which by a UFL standards, he's competent.
Very good UFL quarterback. Stallions laying a full touchdown, -380 on the money line. Defenders 3-1. There at some point in our journey of spring football, we would say never should there be a 3-1 team in a spring football league. That's just not the case anymore. The Stallions, like they're the idea. Every year I compare it to youth sports. 41 is the total, by the way. We're going under. It's youth sports.
Yeah.
And when you have youth sports in an environment where most of the teams don't have a ton of continuity, and one team has a fuckload of continuity. Now, I do think there's more continuity this year than most, but there's also some massively volatile situations. And this is the match of one of the most volatile situations with one of the most consistent situations. You have to take Birmingham.
Yeah, they weren't great covering big spreads last year, but I think because of the coaching stuff and how much continuity it disrupts for the Defenders, I think you got to lay the number. And of course on the under 41 there as well. Colby, what are you doing here?
Yeah. I mean, one of the things also, if you go back through the logos, I mean, I adjusted the Showboats to what they should be, but
oh no,
they phoned it in. They phoned it in on the logos. Hey, Kramer, show the photo. You guys remember the skate company DC? The DC Defenders, it's still better than you took the fucking DC skate company and you just made it a logo for football. Just, terrible
Defenders
job.
Could have been could have been a cool military guy, something with the something. Yeah. Like
also,
the Commanders. They're really awesome.
I don't mean to be disrespectful, but now that the Redskins are back, maybe DC should move to another city. I don't think DC can carry two football teams.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Ooh, too much. Too much.
Especially when George Mason gets that going. But no, I'm laying the number. And I will take the under too. I don't know if DC is going to be able to score. I mean, Birmingham still has a really good defensive line. They did lose our guy Shark Dog because he retired, but they got not only they have Matt Corral, they got Alex McGough back, who won the MVP of the league a couple times, I believe, twice. So they
have the best everything basically.
Yeah, they do. They have very good running backs. Ricky Person Jr., CJ Marable. Their wideouts are good.
It's like it's the one team where it's like, oh yeah, this guy's back. This guy's you know
why they're the best? It's because Skip Holtz simplifies everything. These other teams are trying to be like trying to be the most complex offense in the NFL. And Skip Holtz like no, let's just.
Colby, do you think they're still going to run? Because they did the 2 quarterback system a bunch last year. That was probably like the only thing they did that I wasn't 100% on. It ultimately didn't matter, but do you think they're going to do the 2 QB thing again this year?
Probably, if I had to guess, because McGough. I mean, they're probably going to go Corral because he played good last year at first, but McGough has won 2 MVPs there, I think. So
yeah,
or at least
how come you're not going to start? Yeah. Job?
So and they still have Case Cookus too. So they got their quarterback room is deep.
Man.
Yeah,
that's what I mean.
From the Philly Stars.
You look at the other teams, and I mean, there's a couple teams that are too deep at quarterback.
Sternberger's great,
but no, there's not too many 3 deeps. Although Michigan might be one of them. They got Rocky Lombardi in there too.
Sternberger's going to my DFS lineup. Him and Sal Cannell. I'm going to run two tight ends.
Are you play? You're back. Your UFL is going to bring you back to DFS.
Probably not, but
you're an animal.
All right,
that's some wild shit.
Time for a lock and a dog. Kramer, what do you got?
Jesus. Well, the dog is Arlington, obviously.
Yep. Arlington on the money line. Are we doing 2 locks?
I mean,
I guess there's only 4 games.
The games that stood out to me. I mean, it just seems like we're gonna feel like idiots if we don't smash Birmingham. Arlington is the one, like the clear wrong team favored game.
To me, I'm taking Michigan. The Wisenhunt thing.
I love that one too.
Yeah, and their defense against a team that just lost their head coach and play caller.
Let's do 2 locks.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, as far as I can tell over here, you can parlay all 4 unders if you want to.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fun. Kramer, so you're taking what are you doing? You're taking Birmingham?
Michigan and Birmingham. Locks. Okay. And I would say I don't know. I think it works out. They can, because of the way they do the cross playoffs or whatever, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to predict a Birmingham Michigan championship game.
St. Louis is close for me, but I'll ride with you. Give me Michigan laying the 4.5, Birmingham laying the 7, and Arlington, the Renegades, mount up on the money line. Colby.
Well, first they can't play in the championship game, right? They don't do that switch anymore.
Don't they really?
No, they didn't do it last year. So you need
they play each other.
Yeah, you need Arlington and Birmingham.
Damn it. All right, that's lame. I'll retract my statement. Birmingham will be in the championship.
I mean,
Colby, what are you doing?
The lock is the lock is certainly shit. I love them all, but let's go Michigan and Birmingham. Those are the 2 that I think are just going to destroy them. The money line, is Arlington. I think that's.
Are we sure we don't want to do a 3rd lock and throw St. Louis in there? We're not fading.
St. Louis is definitely going to cash. Add a 3rd.
Yeah, let's just do 3 locks and a dog.
No one's going to be at that fucking stadium. By the way,
we didn't get to my trivia about the field that the DC Defenders play in, home of the Beer Snake.
Yeah,
who plays in that stadium?
It's not DC United, but it's another
lacrosse team.
DC United do play there.
Oh, okay.
That's one of the teams that play
now.
there.
Okay,
one of the teams that play there. There's also the London United, which is part of the USLC, another soccer league.
That's what I think I was thinking.
The Washington Spirit of the NWSL, the women's league, and there is one more. The USL Super League, DC Power. Another women's soccer league.
Oh, shout out to women.
You know what a women's league needs? Someone else trying to compete with another shitty league. It's like, guys, you got to get aligned on that.
So
we cannot support multiple professional women's soccer leagues.
Yeah. I mean, and first off, that should be the Washington Federals, but anyway, which fan turnout will be the best? Well, you think the Defender fans are showing up to this thing with the whole coaching staff gone though?
They have been one of the better fan base. Like I would say St. Louis in the Dome, DC.
They're not. No. I'm talking about this weekend though. This weekend, I know. Houston
will not have a fan base.
Arlington, Memphis, great stadium, but I don't think they give a shit about the team.
Arlington could. The Cowboys have been shitty for a long time, Sean. These people love football in that part of the country.
Yeah, they're getting rid of Dak. They're going to need a new team.
I'll rank the lit factor this weekend. Number 1, DC. Number 2, Arlington. Number 3, Memphis, and number 4, Houston. By a mile.
Save it for the UFL subreddit. Oh, those losers. I can't wait to put the podcast
in ranking stuff.
Yeah, I was like, "Hey, we went 8-0," and they're like,
"Self promotion,
you don't like 8-0,
self promotion,
fucking losers."
They were making the case. They were making the case that Reggie Barlow is making a mistake by going to Tennessee State, a football program that's existed for 120 years. Right? They're like, "Why is a step down on his career?"
No,
right? And I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, the league has much better odds of going under than Tennessee State.
Sean, Colby, Japan wants to know: is Trey Lance going to end up in the UFL? There was news made today.
The CFL, right?
Well, because the reading I did, the news was made because they're one of the CFL teams like put him on the list of NFL players they were going to talk to.
Check out the CFL Gambling Podcast. We're going to be talking about that.
Well, it doesn't mean he's going to play in the CFL. It just means the CFL is taking a close look at Trey Lance. They like his potential there. Someone should make a new graphic of how many snaps he's had in the last 7 years or whatever. Like 189 snaps in the last 8 years of actual time. No, it does sound like Trey Lance in the UFL would be pretty fucking electric.
Oh yeah, look out.
I mean, that I'm not even joking.
Carson Wentz needs to get to the UFL. That's
he made too much money. You have to have that like band.
No, but Trey Lance made a lot of money. He was the 3rd pick overall,
but he never got that contract. Like,
but still the rookie contract if you're 3rd overall.
You're right.
Wentz has fucked you.
Yeah, but Wentz got
Trey Lance is still doing all right though. All right. Great times as always. Great that the UFL is back. Make sure you check out the UFL Gambling Podcast.
This could be our last episode.
Yeah, we'll see if the league folds.
People are asking if we're going to cover the CFL this year.
No. 100% no. No.
Not as long as they're treating America like they are.
Yeah. Check out the UFL Gambling Podcast.
Check out the CFL Gambling Podcast. No. You guys won't
cancel that.
No, Colby, we talked about this. We got to pay all this money to export our downloads.
Yeah, there's a tariff.
Yeah, there's download
tariff situation on Canadian football.
Well, how are we going to do the huge tits parlay?
Here's what I'll say.
What's gonna happen?
You can release the huge tits parlay. There's no tariff on that.
Here, there might be. I don't know. Canadians
Trump said that was all right. Huge tit parlays are okay.
If you want to hear this, if right now Sean has canceled the CFL Gambling Podcast. If you would like Sean to uncancel it, you're gonna have to prove us wrong.
I will release secret episodes. There'll be secret episodes out there.
If I get 2 DMs,
Colby's bootlegging
just like the
CFL
Nixon tapes. Just like the Nixon tapes, the CFL tapes are going to be out there.
They'll be released. The CIA is going to hold them for a while. It's going to be a Mossad thing. What's going to get released first, Ryan? The real Epstein list or the CFL Gambling Podcast for 2025? We should release the
CFL tapes.
There's transcriptions, but it's all blacked out.
No, that's it. Put out the pics, but they're just redacted.
Hey, we got fans saying uncancel the CFL. There we go. Appreciate you.
Who's saying that?
DM Ryan Kramer. If he gets more than 3 DMs, we will keep the CFL Gambling Podcast alive.
Just think that the heading of the subject saying save the huge tits parlay.
No, you know what? No.
Might go to spam.
I want you to message me in the CFL channel in Discord.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right.
How much
we
do you
have
want?
A CFL Discord?
I assume so.
Okay. Check out the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. Go on all the channels except CFL. That one's
I forgot. Someone asked me about making a CFL model and I responded seriously. And then J Mark chimed in with like 2 paragraphs about how you want to have an extreme negative bias towards any team that rosters Chad Kelly. So J Mark's back. Find him in the CFL.
Shout out to J Mark and CJ, a couple other UFL sharps.
Oh yeah, definitely want to check out the UFL Gambling Podcast.
And if you're into big ticket sports, we got the Sweet 16 picks, and we did 2 episodes today. We did a MLB Gambling Podcast with our buddy, our MLB preview with our buddy Malcolm.
They have the Toronto Blue Jays in that league.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't talk about them actually.
It did take us longer than I thought to get through the baseball preview.
Yeah, it was
like 45 minutes.
It was
maybe even an hour.
The exciting part is all the new words and phrases you learn from Malcolm, which
it's Colby our favorite.
Wait. Did you have your World Series at AL team against an NL team?
No, that was last year's gimmick. I had 2 and I had the Cubs versus the Phillies in my World Series preview. I wasn't far off. I was better than Ryan's preview.
Justin Steele.
Shout out to Justin Steele.
It's a lot of Justin Steele predictions.
The Malcolm said he was talking about opening day and he goes, "I'm more excited than a dog with 2 dicks," which is just I'm going to use that catchphrase. He also used, this price won't blow your skirt up, like won't get you excited. So again, the British are awesome. Malcolm's awesome.
Yeah.
Check out the MLB Gambling Podcast. Check out our preview. We also talked some draft props. Lots of great stuff happening. And then we'll be back tomorrow night. Early look at the Elite 8, couple games there. And VSiN show Friday night, Colby and crew checking in live from the Circa in Las Vegas. And of course,
thank you for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green. He's Ryan.
Kind of did miss the UFL.
Kramer, let it ride.